Hello, students. Um, this is your Professor Ann Babson once more. I wanted to give you a grammatical lesson. I'm sorry for the lighting in here. If it seems like it's a dark and stormy night, it is in fact because I am recording this during one of the many rainstorms we've been having. And so the subject of this lesson today is aller and venir de, which are a method by which you can, even as you are learning, before you have learned the full future tenses that exist in French and the full past tenses, there are multiple kinds of tenses in both the future and the past in French. You can communicate both futurity to sound like an English teacher um, and past tense in the immediate future and immediate past with these two expressions. Aller, the verb, and venir with the word de afterwards. These are irregular verbs that can tell the future and the immediate past. Here I have someone who wants to tell the future, but telling the future in French doesn't involve a crystal ball. Without knowing the future and past tenses yet, you can still talk a bit about future and immediate past events. And this involves using two verbs in the present tense, aller, which means to go, and venir, which means to come, in such a manner that you express the future or the past. First, however, it's time for some review. I would suggest that you repeat this after me for pronunciation and also just to refresh your memory of these two verbs. Aller is an irregular verb which means to go. Je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. The irregular verb also to come, venir, is useful in this situation as well. And so I'm going to conjugate. Again, I suggest you repeat after me. And I really think if it feels unfamiliar or you've forgotten it and for some other reason, play this part of the video again, the two verb conjugations. I think that would be useful. Je viens, tu viens, il vient, elle vient, on vient. Notice that all three of those are pronounced exactly the same, but they are spelled differently in the case of the third person. Nous venons, vous venez, ils viennent, elles viennent. So now that you've reviewed those two verbs and their conjugation in the present tense, let's learn some idiomatic expressions that express immediate future and recent past. An idiomatic expression is it sort of falls between slang and a linguistic anomaly. If it's idiomatic, it usually doesn't make sort of standard grammatical or linguistic sense, except in the logic of the language. Idiomatic expressions that are regional would include, where I come from, no way, get out of here. Get out of here. Do I really want you to get out of here? No. But by telling you that expression, by using that expression, I have expressed disbelief in what it is that you have said or done. And, you know, one that's particularly Southern, bless her heart. You know that in the complexity of Southern culture, bless her heart is not really that blessing. of hearts, but is a way of saying screw her. Except in the rare occasions where people are being sincere, and those are contextually available to us, but you have to know the idiom first. So here are the idiomatic expressions using aller and venir de to express immediate future and recent past. Répétez après moi, je vous prie. Repeat after me. Je vous prie is another very polite way of saying please. Je vous prie. Répétez après moi, je vous prie. In English, we speak about what we are going to do. Like this boy could say, I'm going to eat all the spaghetti I can cook this evening, although he's a little young to be cooking. Nevertheless, he had an astonished look that made me giggle when I saw this photo. In English, we speak about what we are going to do with this. You recognize this man. I could tell you, I am going to dance at the club and I'm going to swagger like Jagger. Good luck with that. And there's this very similar grammatical structure in French. The construction is almost identical to the one in English. We say, I am going to dance. I am going to cook, or I'm going to eat. They say it that way, but remember that to cook and to eat and to dance would be one word in French. So instead of going to, I use aller and an infinitive. And here are some examples. Look at this man who doesn't look like he's afraid. Nevertheless, I could say, il va tomber par terre. He's going to fall on the ground. Il va tomber par terre. Tomber par terre means to fall on the ground. Here we have these young women, these girls, and if I'm rooting for the team with the white uniforms here, I might say, elles vont gagner le championnat. They are going to win. Gagner is to win. Le championnat is the championship. A couple of more examples. I could say to this family, if they were my neighbors, vous allez faire du vélo en famille aujourd'hui. And what that means is, vous allez, you are going, faire, to do. Du vélo is bike riding. Du vélo, and then en famille means as a family. Aujourd'hui, today. Vous allez faire du vélo en famille aujourd'hui. And then for this couple, I might say, on their behalf, nous allons manger un dîner végétarien ce soir, because I didn't see any bacon here, just plants. Nous allons manger un dîner végétarien ce soir. And instead of going to, I can use aller and an infinitive, and I can say that to express something I'm not going to do as well. And here are some examples of that. Je ne vais pas avoir confiance en lui. I am not going. Notice that the ne and the pas are not around the infinitive, the thing that I'm talking about doing or not doing, but around going. I'm not going to. Je ne vais pas avoir confiance en lui. I'm not going to trust him. Avoir confiance en lui means to trust him. To have confidence in him, literally. And then here I put myself in the head of perhaps a parent looking at this. Let us imagine she is a 16-year-old girl dressed like this, and I'm going to speak to her in French. Ah non! Non! Tu ne vas pas sortir de la maison habillée comme ça. Oh no! You are not going to leave the house dressed like that. something my mother was inclined to say during my punk rock years quite a bit. I had a few skirts that were shorter even than this skirt. The French have a wonderful expression for a too short skirt or a very short skirt. They call it une jupe, which means a skirt, ras le bonbon. Une jupe ras le bonbon means a skirt that goes to the base of the lollipop. Anyway, I would say to this girl, ah non, no, tu ne vas pas sortir de la maison habillée comme ça. You are not going to exit the house dressed. Habillé means dressed. Comme ça, like that. This seems like a good occasion to teach you a new word, which again follows our idiomatic expression of news. News is plural for us. We don't say the new. Hello, this is the new at 10. I'm the anchor. No, we don't say it like that. The news. The news is always plural in French as well, and the word is les actualités. And you could say une actualité to describe a single event, but les actualités are the things that are happening right this minute, like in the immediate past, in fact. What's going on pretty much now, or 5 minutes ago, or 15 minutes ago, or 1 day ago. Les actualités françaises means the French news. And then here I say in French, nous pouvons aussi parler du passé immédiat avec un verbe conjugué au présent. We can also speak of the immediate past with a verb conjugated in the present. We can say venir de, avec venir de. Venir de, come from is almost the closest thing I could say it like. Because, in fact, if you ask me, d'où venez-vous? D apostrophe OU with an accent on the U. D'où venez-vous? That means, where do you come from? And I can say, je viens des États-Unis. I come from the United States, or je viens de New York, or je viens de la Nouvelle-Orléans. Venir de means to come from. And if I say venir de, and I'm using it to talk about the past, I'm saying I just finished a thing. It just now finished. And I can express what just happened with venir de and an infinitive. We'll have a few of these. Here you see Senator Bernie Sanders. He looks a little tired. Je viens de parler au sénateur. Je viens de, I just, parler, spoke with, to speak, or to speak, au sénateur, to the senator. And here, a very different cat that looks not so much tired as, let's say, sated, stuffed. Il vient de manger une gazelle. He just ate a gazelle. I look like that after Thanksgiving, but I don't have as many spots. And nobody tries to scratch me behind the ears. And I think that's very wise. I might bite. Here are some more examples. Here we see this couple dancing. I might pull aside my friend, the man in the white hat here. Tu viens de danser avec une femme mystérieuse. You just danced with a mysterious woman, because the tango is a mysterious dance. Le tango est une danse mystérieuse. These people, you see, they're at a polling place, they're walking out. I said, il vient de voter. They just voted. I remind you when you're watching this that there is an upcoming election and New Orleans is having early voting. So without telling you who to vote for, you might consider voting. I would recommend it. Better that you be heard than let some bum out there make the decision for you. Some bum like me, for instance. I wouldn't trust me if I were you. Here we have some more examples of this expression, but here in the negative. I can say this in the negative as well. This guy thinks he's totally crushing the meeting. The woman who seems to be in charge does not seem overly impressed. And so I would say to him politely, if I were his associate, vous ne venez pas de convaincre votre chef régional. Vous ne venez pas, you did not just, we would say, is a direct translation of the expression. You did not just convaincre, to convince. You did not just convince votre chef régional. You did not just convince your regional manager. She does not look convinced. She looks like she's thinking about whether cutback should cut back him. Nous ne venons pas de nous sentir claustrophobes. Here you see these people out in wide open spaces. My latest COVID experience, perhaps you have had something similar, you who have been cooped up of late, has been to remember times when I was out in a wide wilderness, because I have seen four walls for a little while now. And I'm remembering horseback rides through the Swiss Alps, walks through the Mojave Desert, stuff like that. And I'm not generally much of a hiker or horseback rider. I know that'll shock you. But I'm remembering them. And here we see these three people. Notice they're practically social distancing. It looks like they're about 2 meters apart. But here they are in this truly wide open space. Cue Dixie Chicks. And here I'm going to say in French, nous ne venons pas de nous sentir claustrophobes. Nous ne venons pas, we did not just. And then remember, we talked about verbe réfléchi last time. I'm pretty sure it was with you that I did that. De nous sentir, to feel. We did not feel ourselves. Claustrophobe. Maybe it was my other class. If it was, this is still how you would say to feel, but notice that the nous is we did not feel ourselves. It's idiomatically you would say we did not feel ourselves claustrophobic. We didn't just feel claustrophobic. Total translation. When I see you in class, you'll tell me if we went over reflexive verbs or if I'm just dreaming that we did, which is entirely possible. Maybe I taught you reflexive verbs while I was horseback riding in the Alps and avoiding rattlesnakes in the Mojave Desert as I hiked. Et maintenant, and now, vous allez recevoir un devoir au sujet des constructions en français que vous venez d'apprendre. Let me break that down for you. Vous allez recevoir, you are going to receive, immediate future, un devoir, a homework, au sujet des constructions en français, on the topic of the French constructions that we've been talking about, grammatical constructions, que vous venez d'apprendre, that you just learned. Notice what I did there? I did the aller, idiomatic expression for immediate future, and the venez de expression for immediate past. Apprendre, just to remind you, is to learn. Que vous venez d'apprendre, that you just learned. So here is what I would like you to do. Écrivez 3 phrases pour chaque expression idiomatique que nous discutons ensemble. Write 3 sentences for each idiomatic expression that we have discussed, that we're discussing rather, together. And so we really had two categories. So those are the two idiomatic expressions. And here are the first examples. Je vais manger tout le pizza, said my husband, but not in French. I am going to eat the whole pizza. Vous allez dire que je suis folle. You are going to say that I am crazy. Like you haven't already said that. Um, so here you see the infinitives manger, to eat, and dire, to say, and an object of some kind or a clause. I could say very simply, though, something like, je vais nettoyer. I'm going to clean. Or something like that. I mean, I don't have to have any clauses, but it's probably good to imagine a more complete sentence than that. For venir, I have this expression first. Nous venons d'arriver juste maintenant. We just arrived just now. In French, there are not two justs, but we just arrived just now would be a way to express like we just got here. Ils viennent de changer de train à la gare à Paris. They just changed trains at the station in Paris. Of course, there are multiple stations. I could say la gare de Lyon. I could say la gare d'Austerlitz. It depends where we're going. La gare du Nord. It depends. But in any case, these are example expressions. I know that you can do this. Laissez-moi savoir si vous avez des questions. Let me know if you have questions. À la prochaine fois. See you next time. Et merci. We can discuss these expressions in class a bit, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye.